Luke, this is Parent Academy, and on this channel I'm going to share with you some of the ideas I've gained as a school principal and a teacher of middle schoolers and high schoolers, and hopefully help you to build stronger kids who are resilient and kind. Today I want to talk about some strategies to dealing with a teenager, maybe a defiant teenager. Teenagers don't really look to you anymore, at least not primarily, for whether or not they're okay. They're looking to their peer group and they're looking to the culture. And it's almost unavoidable because what they're trying to figure out is where they fit. Realize that when a kid sets out to find their own value in the world instead of finding it from attention from you, it's going to look like they're trying to get control. In fact, it's what I call a power struggle. They're struggling with others, whether people in authority or their peers. They're trying to prove something and they're comparing themselves to others. They might be trying to dominate and be super competitive, or they might be internalizing it and really angry at themselves or fed up with their own failures. You might see some perfectionism or some self-loathing, condemnation. Either way, it's all driving from a need to feel like I matter. So the reality is that kids who struggle for power, kids who are defiant, teenagers especially, but really this applies to adults too, they're stuck in a loop. They're going back and forth. On one side, they act arrogant. They're trying to dominate others. They're indulging their selfish desires. They're comparing to others. But on the other side, when they face failure and reality, they come back to that self-loathing. They come back to trying to prove themselves all the time. And that same comparing is still there, haunting them. The question, do I have what it takes? And that question drives them back and forth. And it's a question that, as a parent, there comes a point in their adolescence where you can't answer it anymore for them. They've got to go find it. So you've got to be there for them as a coach, instead of as maybe as a mom or a dad like you thought you were. So I want to give you a couple of specific strategies. One, do something called triangulating. Triangulating with kids is when they pit mom against dad or dad against mom and make you feel like the bad guy for enforcing the rules. But as a parent, what you can do with triangulating is you can set yourself apart from the rules and the consequences so that neither your kid nor you take personally what's going on. Here's what I mean. If you've set up a time that they have to be home, or a time when they are expected to have something completed, and you set up a consequence for that, when it comes time to give that consequence, it's not you being offended that they broke your rule and now you are punishing them. But no, this is the rule we set up. This is what we agreed to. And so how do I help you? How do I help you, one, deal with this consequence? Because it can't change. Look, we made it. We agreed upon it. And two, let's prevent it from ever happening again. So triangulate, work with them to navigate the rules. Two, start asking for their plan and then give them room. If they have a real plan, you give them some questions. What about this? What are you going to do with that? If they can answer those questions and they have a plan, even if it's kind of a terrible one, let them work their plan. Let them fail, right? Because if they have a plan, if they're not being impulsive, but they're setting it out, they're making a choice based on their values, then they can learn. They can learn from their mistakes. Speaking of which, follow up on their plan. Did it go well? If so, why? And get them to talk and explain, give them reasons. This is what teachers do. Good teachers are doing this all the time. You're teaching them to reason, right? And you're teaching them to make choices based on values rather than obey my rules. Maybe come to an agreement on some values as a family. This is what's important to us. Therefore, these are the decisions we make about rules, consequences, expectations, all that stuff. Lastly, and this is a silly one, it works for little kids, but it really works for teenagers too. Say yes. Say yes even when you're saying no. Here's what I mean. Can I borrow the car? Sure, yeah, you can, but when your room is clean, Or yeah, you can borrow that when you're 18. Yeah, you could go on a trip. Let's talk about that for next summer. Yes, when instead of no. But make sure the when is true, because they won't forget. If they care, they won't forget, and they'll come back. And if it's trick and you're just saying yes when to nonsense, they won't care. They'll stop caring about what you say. And that's what you're trying to avoid. Because I feel like the most dangerous part of adolescence is if they stop caring. Not just about you, but about themselves. Yeah, so be there for them and show them that you care. All right, that's what I got. My name is Luke. This is Parent Academy. I hope it helps.